And we are live for the 27th episode of the Bronx Bomber Battle podcast. I'm your host, Matt Luz Luigi, and tonight I'm with G and I'm with Andrews. How you doing, fellas?
Yeah, about as good as you can be after watching what we just watched.
Yep,
Irritated.
yeah, let's just get right into it. It was a disappointing opening weekend. Let's just be blunt. It was some brutal baseball. I mean, let's just like I think that's the one word I saw on Twitter. I'm gonna put it in the episode, the title of this episode. I mean, that was just some brutal baseball to watch, man. It was. We're gonna recap all the games. We're gonna talk about decisions made, just how certain guys have looked. But I mean, let's just because I'm really honestly like I'm at a loss for words. Like I don't even know what to like say. So I'm just gonna go like let's just run through these games. Let's just recap the weekend. We'll start with opening day. Opening day, it was a good day. Tanaka pitched, looked good, right? Voit homered. It was a good game, right? The 7-2 victory for the Yanks. Nice win. What you're supposed to do against a team like Baltimore. But then Saturday, James Paxton had his first start as a Yankee Saturday. Pitched well, but didn't get the win. Yankees ended up losing 5-3. Offense decided to wake up in the ninth inning, score 2 runs, but it wasn't enough. And then today, Sunday, the Yankees, they were down 4-0 early. Every time they would score a couple runs, the Orioles would just tack on a couple more. There was questionable decisions by Boone. It was really just like I said, just some brutal baseball. So guys, which game was your favorite? The Saturday or Sunday? Which game did you guys enjoy more?
I guess for me, I'll go here. I thoroughly enjoyed watching Paxton pitch yesterday. I thought he had some really good stuff. He showed a lot of composure on the mound, which we expected from him. And if not for a few, dinky little hits that he'd given up, and then of course Boone pushing Holder to a second inning of the ninth. I mean, that was a very winnable game. But I thought Paxton looked really good. So that was, I guess, the only positive takeaway from these two losses.
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, games like today just really suck. And like, obviously because they were losing the whole time, but like, you come out in the first inning and you're already losing 3-0, and you kind of just throw your hands up in the air, like especially after yesterday when they left a bunch of runners on base. Like it just sucks. So I'd say Saturday, but it's not a great decision.
Well, that's just the stat that just obviously just blows my mind. I mean, it really shouldn't blow my mind because this is what this team's been. The Yankees this weekend. I'm reading this straight from Coley Harvey's Twitter. Yankees went 6 for 29 with runners in scoring series, stranded 33 base runners in 3 games. I mean, like it's just the same shit from last season, right? This team would just get runners on base. They could never not never, but too consistently they just didn't manufacture guys home unless it was from the home run ball. And you know, I think Michael Kay said it in like I think when it was when Stanton was up in like today's in the Sunday's game in the eighth inning. He said something about like it was like he got down 0-2. He said, you don't need it all right here. You don't, and it's just so obvious watching this team to me. Like they're all just swinging for the fences. It's like it's the same shit we've been saying for so long, but it was so obvious to me this weekend. There were so many counts where guys like Gary and Stanton and whoever were just getting very hittable pitches, like low 90s fastballs, like in the zone, and they were just whiffing. And it's because all these guys, they're just all so home run happy. And it's just such a cliche thing to say. It's such almost like an easy way out. But I mean, to me, it was really apparent that like all these guys were just swinging for the fences this week. And then it shows when you see those running, like those numbers hitting with runners in scoring position, it shows. I mean, look, it was 3 games. It's not even about the losses there. It's really about like the fact that it was almost like that. Those games Saturday and Sunday were straight out of 2018. Like
Mm-hmm.
watch those games without like knowing any like what year it was. Like you would be like, oh yeah, that this was still last season, right? This is just a game from last season because I mean, it was just like just having a guy like Steven Tarpley in a one-run game, just same shit, different year. I mean, it's like I said, I'm gonna keep saying this because it's just I need to reiterate it. I don't want to be like this negative, this mad after the first series of the year, but I mean, Jesus Christ, it's tough not to. It
Yeah.
really is not to.
No, I totally feel you, dude. And I think kind of what you touched on, it's a lot of similarities to the same bullshit we went through last year. You have Boone kind of just jerking around with the bullpen, kind of trying to steal outs. We've used that terminology a lot, where he's going to use his lower tier guys in high leverage situations, but situations in which we're losing. I mean, just because we're down by run doesn't dictate, open the floodgates, just bring in whoever. We're not going to. I mean, those are winnable games. If you're down 5-6 runs, sure, bring in your worst reliever. But like last night, we were down. Saturday we were down 3-1 in the ninth inning, and he pushed Jonathan Holder a second inning. Why? Why you need to push your guy when you had a day off the day before, and it's the second game of the season? Why you need to push a guy a second inning with a full bullpen? And then he ends up giving up 2 runs. We get 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth, which would have tied the game, but we lose by 2. And the same thing today with Tarpley. Like, if you need a lefty, was Zach Britton not available to come in at that moment? Like, I don't understand what the logic is. And for me, too, I'm just seeing over and over again on replay in my head right now the groundouts to third and short and the strikeouts with 2 men on and with the bases loaded. I mean, I think the worst offenders this weekend were Voit outside of his first at bat on opening day, Andujar, and Stanton. I think those were the 3 guys who kind of really gagged the most with men on base in clutch situations. It's just really, really frustrating. And I don't. I just want to turn this over to G2 and let him weigh on this, but it's really, really frustrating to watch the team make the same mistakes a full year removed. Boone's not a rookie manager anymore, and we should have learned from our mistakes last year. And against the worst team in baseball, here we are again.
Yeah, it really did feel like this game just felt like an extension, like a game that you would have seen at the end of last year. And I mean, it was like all the injuries and rookie manager and all that stuff. Like they won 100 games, but they were just so not fun to watch for like the entire second half of last year. And this felt basically exactly like one of those games. And also exactly what Andrew said. He like Boone when he's he just tries to like steal outs. He tries to sneak through an inning. But the thing that's just really aggravating is like, I mean, obviously you're going to manage your bullpen differently when you're losing, but like a 1-run game and you bring in Tarpley instead of Zach Britton when Britton was warming up, and then he gives up the home run. And like, I feel like I just bang my head against the wall because they score runs and then they give them right back. When he brings in, like Canley got out of the inning, but he loaded the bases. Like, you bring in Tarpley, or you bring in Britton, and you don't give up, or don't let them extend the lead, and like who knows, right? The one run deficit could have gone away.
Like
the Canleys and all that, you get the Ottavinos, and like it's just, it's so frustrating.
Canley at least deserves credit because look, he did get out of like his bases loaded jam. Even though, he threw, I think, like what was it, 13 or 14 out of like 20. His first 20 pitches were balls, but he got out of it. Whatever. So I mean, there's a lot of guys, a lot more guys to rag on than Canley. Like, look, man, Tarpley. Like, look, I was glad he made the team. He's a nice pitcher. I think he's going to be a good piece for us in the next few years. But
had a good spring.
He shouldn't be in a 1-run game. Like, I just can't get over how Aaron Boone just does not try to win every game. Like that. If people ask me why one problem with Boone is, that's it right there. He doesn't try to win every game. He always thinking of, oh, well, can't use this guy. He's like trying to, look, what are you saving this for, man? Like,
right. And part of that is the fact that we have either Herman starting tomorrow, or we're going to use an opener, and then we're going to go to Herman in the second or third inning. So I get Boone's thinking like, oh, well, I got to save my top arms because I'm probably needing tomorrow. But like, bro, if you may find yourself up 7-0 tomorrow when you need to use your top arms, and you wasted the opportunity to use them today in a 1-run game. Like, we don't know. You can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow. Win the game in front of you today.
We have we have such a great bullpen, and in the rubber match of a 3-game series, the 3 guys we bring out of the bullpen are Sessa, Tarpley, and Canley. Like, really?
And even beyond that, if we want to extend, look at Saturday's game. He brought in Ottavino to relieve Paxton. Ottavino got one batter, retired him, and then he brought in Chad Green, who gave up a run in his inning. Like, was Ottavino not able to start the next inning? I get he threw an inning in the third the day before, or excuse me, on opening day, which was 2 days prior. But like, he's already in the game. Why not just roll with him the next inning? So he had to do 4 pitches to get that one out.
And,
And like, why is that? Why do they have to make all these moves?
Boone didn't want to use Ottavino today after throwing a total of 4 pitches on Saturday.
Yeah.
No, it's just like, oh man, yeah. Just look that. So yeah, Boone bullpen management, game management for the first series weekend, solid F. I'd give him, right? Of course, from last year.
Basically, if the Yankees don't make it through like 6 innings with a lead, then Boone's bullpen management is likely going to be pretty bad. So,
well, yeah, let's there's a lot. Like, I just want to like run through a list of guys to talk about. And like, look, man, I'm just gonna say it right now. This whole Brett Gardner is the leadoff hitter. It's not working. Just not working. Like, look, man, I like Gardner. I really do. But, I mean, the guy is the worst hitter in the lineup, and it's not close. He should not be hitting leadoff. Like, I get why he's playing right now with Hicks out. Like, I get it. Like, I'm not like, oh, he should be benched. Like, look, he deserves to be in the lineup at this point with the health of this team as the way it is. But, I mean, having him hit leadoff, like, there are so many situations today where it's like, like LeMahieu or like who would just like, get on base and like you would just know Gardner's up. I mean, he worked the bases loaded walk, like, good for him. But like during that at bat, it's just like, I know he got to hit the next at bat, but I mean, the dude just has nothing. It's like literally like watching an old fighter who just does not have anything left on his punches.
It's like he's swinging like a rolled up newspaper.
Like,
it just doesn't go anywhere.
Like,
yeah, how many times you see those pitches on the outer corner where he fouls off to the left side, but like you see his top hand come off the bat, and you see all like his mechanics are just crap. And he's brutal.
He went 1 for 13 in the opening series.
Yeah, but they're going to keep him in there because he got on base twice today. So like, oh, he's showing improvement. So that's just validation to keep him leading off the next 3 games.
Yeah, just really bad, like Gardner this weekend. And like, look, again, like we keep saying, it's only 3 games, but I mean, look, there's one thing of just, because like you have to watch, like you could just look at a box score and see a guy went 0 for 4. But if you didn't watch the game, that guy might have lined out twice and then hit 2 foul homers. He might have been ripping the ball all night, but just got unlucky. Gardner ain't ripping it. Like Gardner is just like not hitting anything for like when he's getting out, it's a bad at bat. He's popping out like a lot of I know he's working the counter like in a lot of his at bats, but in a good amount of these at bats, he's just first or second pitch. It's like a pop out. It's almost like
did he pop out with the bases loaded at one point today? I think we said in our group chat. Like I think I threw out right before the at bats. I said, "What's Gardner going to do?" And I almost said immediately he's going to pop out, and he ended up popping out, and someone else may have said that, but it was like the first freaking pitch, man. Like it's so predictable at this point. And they're such give up at bats.
Like I said a few minutes ago, guys, it seems like this whole lineup's trying to hit home runs. I mean, it's like Gardner's trying to hit a home. He had that one like decent power year, and now he thinks he's freaking Hercules.
Remember a couple years ago when he would just come up in a spot like that? He would just slap a single to left center field, and like he would give you a grinded out at bat, even if he ended up striking out. Like he wasn't. The pop-ups, I think, are very telling because that means you missed a ball, but you're having an uppercut swing.
Legitimately, I don't remember that. Like, I just remember him as, like, whatever his most recent form would be, I guess. I don't know. Obviously, I've never been Brett Gardner's biggest fan, but, like, I just don't I mean, extending beyond these 3 games, and, he didn't play a lot at the end of last year, but I just don't know what he brings to the lineup anymore because – he didn't hit for a high average the last couple of years. Like, the walks are nice, but, like, it's just really difficult to watch him when he's not, batting in an insignificant part of the lineup. Like, I don't know. I mean, I could go on, but it's just not, like, it's just so difficult to watch him.
More Yankees this weekend. Stanton 2 for 8, but it seemed like it was a lot more. He worked a lot of walks, but there's another guy who just doesn't really look comfortable at the plate. I think both of his hits were just like base hits. Really hasn't like squared anything up yet. And I think some of us said in the group that Judge didn't look all that comfortable at the plate this weekend. But with Judge, like I don't worry too much about Judge. Like I trust that he's going to figure it out. He still had a nice opening weekend. DJ LeMahieu, I think like not a lot of bright spots this weekend, but a bright spot in my opinion for sure was DJ LeMahieu. He like in the field, he was awesome at the plate. He had some nice timely hit Saturday, some nice hits today. Like DJ LeMahieu, like I said in the preview pod, I think he's going to be that kind of little Yankee catalyst all throughout the year. It looked like that way in the first weekend. Greg, remember after the first game, Greg Bird was just like all Yankee Twitter was already done with Greg Bird because he struck out 3 times. He didn't have a good weekend either. Big surprise.
I mean, he walked twice and scored twice today.
I mean, Andrew, he did. You're right. But
he's in 143 though.
Yeah, I was about to say he still went 0 for 3. So he didn't play Saturday.
Hey, I mean, Brett Gardner's hitting 0.77, so he's not the lowest on the team.
Oh God.
I mean, the team, averages up and down the lineup aren't looking great anyway. But I mean,
somebody else that we could talk about, and coming off like we said, coming off that hot 2018, Gary Sanchez to start 2019, not good. And look, the one thing that's like least concerning about Gary in terms of like defensively is his arm, right? He's a great arm.
Mm-hmm.
Man bounced 3 throws to second this weekend. 2 were on steals. Both went to the outfield, right? And then I think he like tried to snap throw down to second and one of them. And he bounced that throw too. Didn't cost him, but like the dude legitimately just can't even reach second base right now. I mean, you just get it just pisses you off so much as a fan because like you look at Gary and like when you come out in the 2019 season and those are your throws, you're just throwing it to the outfield. It's like, dude, what did you work on anything in spring training? Like what were you doing all off season?
Right.
I feel like we could say that as a general statement. Like this might just be me wanting to complain since they lost 2 games to the Orioles, but like I feel like you could ask like, what do they do in spring training? Because I just feel like they just try and get through spring training without getting hurt, and they come out.
That went out really well, right?
Someone like they're in the starting gate. Someone tied their shoelaces together, and they just go to run and fall on their face for the first 2 weeks. They made errors in multiple of these games. Like they're striking out. Like it's just super aggravating. And then, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you could be like, yeah, what are they doing in spring training? Because they don't seem ready to play. Again, that could be a complete reaction.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like it doesn't matter who they played and who they lost to. A loss is a loss in my mind. Like you can hype it up, be like, well, you should have won against a team that you should beat. I mean, they could just easily go ahead and sweep the Red Sox at one point this year, and the wins would even out. Like, I mean, every game you worry about playing the best you can, not who is on the other side of the field. But you look at stuff like the errors they made. Gary's throws into center field on pickoffs, giving up way too many home runs. Stuff like that is really concerning, and that makes you wonder, like, don't you work on this stuff in spring training? I mean, the home runs. I mean, that's a whole other issue. You make a bad pitch, it gets crushed, fine. Exactly. But like clean defense, throwing down to second base for pickoffs, hitting with runners in the scoring position. Not even that. I know I had mentioned it earlier on the podcast here that how many times do we see guys ground out and strike out with 2 or 3 on the past 2 days? I don't think there's been one sac fly since Andujar hit that almost grand slam on opening day. They went for 1 run. That they haven't even been able to put the ball in the air. And there may be a lot of situations where there was 2 outs and it doesn't even matter. But like the inability to just get a productive out, even you don't even have to get a hit, just get a productive out to drive in a run.
It's at the point where the Yankees are so bad with the bases loaded. I wouldn't even be mad. Like, let's say, I'm going to just paint the picture. Let's say tomorrow's game, bases loaded, 1 out. I wouldn't even be mad if someone bunted and got in a run. Like, I'm not even lying. I'd be like, okay, cool. Because, like, we're like the worst team of all time with the bases loaded. I've never seen anything like it. Like, every time we get – I mean, okay, so to be fair, Gardner did get a bases loaded walk today. and then Judge got the 2-run single. But I mean, the first few games we had the bases. I'm almost positive we had the bases loaded in all 3 of those games this weekend. At least, and I think in one of them we had the bases loaded multiple times. And
We've had the base loaded multiple times in all 3 games.
Yeah, you could be right about that. But my point is, the runs just don't come. It's like we might get one. It's just like, look, they're shredding 33 base runners in 3 games. And they just think they scored 15 runs? Yeah, 15 runs. When you go 6 for 29 with runners in scoring position and still score 15 runs in 3 games, that's just, and you lose the 2 games you lose are both by 2 runs. It's almost like in basketball losing a game by 1 or 2 and you were awful from the free throw line. It's the same thing. Look, you do simple things in baseball. If you do what you're supposed to do, like getting guys in with less than 2 outs, you win games. But the Yankees clearly just don't know how to do that.
Right. Well, that begs the question. I mean, what do you think is worse? Do you look at 33 men left on base in 3 games and say, well, eventually the timely hits will come. They'll get lucky. Maybe some guy will make a mistake. We'll get a couple big home runs or timely hits. Or do you look at it and say, this is a huge issue, and almost compare it to would you rather go out there and just get dominated? What's a worse situation? Leaving this many men on base, this many games in a row, or having an ace just mow through you? I don't even know.
No, I agree. No, but here's my thing. This is a team, but it really has to. It comes to a point where you say to yourself, you kind of look at the hitting coach, and you're like, "What? Dude, these guys have no approach." Because getting being a situational hitter, it's an approach, it's a mindset. It's I truly believe that all these dudes are going Stanton, Judge, Voit, Gary. All these dudes are going up there and they're swinging for the fences every time. No one can convince me otherwise.
Because you can tell it really, especially with Gary. I mean,
it's if I were a pitcher, facing the Yankees, in a let's say 2nd and 3rd or whatever, I would throw them an off-speed pitch in the zone, first pitch every time, because these dudes are looking for and are swinging out of their shoes looking for a fastball early in the count. And I think, what was it, Judge today? Swings at a first pitch, breaking ball, misses it. Dude throws him second pitch fastball right down the middle, doesn't swing at it. Because your approach is fucked. Because you're looking at a bomb. You're not looking to have an at bat. You're just looking to hit a bomb. You're looking to get the big flashy Sports Center highlight, and that's it. And
it's swinging, waving at 3 straight changeups. Giancarlo Stanton.
Oh man, Stanton. Remember I said I think he's gonna have a big year. I already take that back. No, I'm kidding. But really, there's the guy. It's just. He had 2 hits, and they were both kind of just base hits. I think one was through the shift.
They just need to calm the hell down. It's so annoying. They really are swinging for the fences.
The good news is that we're gonna get into the the next series preview later in the show to the end of the show. But they play the Tigers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then they play the Orioles again, right? And I know it's the Orioles just beat us. They beat us every time, but look. Those are it's funny because Andrew and I were talking before the show how pretty much you look around the MLB after the first weekend, the Astros are 1-3, the Red Sox are 1-3. I think the Indians are 1-2. It seems like every good team in the AL just lost their first series of the year. So kind of odd. But I mean, if the Yankees were playing, they had to play a really good team next series, I would be genuinely worried because it's oh great, we just got beat by a quadruple A team.
1-5, here we come. Yeah.
Let's now. Oh great, now we have to face an ace, but no, we're gonna get to face the Tigers. So should be games that we should win, but you really never know with this team. And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. That stat they pulled up at the game yesterday, or at the game today. With I think it was they showed the Red Sox record against I think the 2 worst teams. What was it? They showed the Red Sox and Yankees record against the worst teams in I think the AL East, the 2 worst teams in the AL East last year, and the Red Sox were 9 games better than the Yankees in that category. I think they were 32-5, and the Yankees were 23-12, and
that was the margin of difference.
It was literally oh wow, so you're saying that was the difference between us and the Red Sox last year? They beat shitty teams and we didn't. like kind of like what we said like the whole season. Like, oh wow, like look at the Red Sox like sweeping this shitty team. Like, wish we could do that. Like, oh, look at us splitting 2 games of 2 with a really bad team. Like that was the story of last year. And hey, look at that. We just dropped in the opening series to a team that lost 115 games last year. So not ideal. But anything else we want to talk about this first weekend of the season? Any positive notes? Any happy thoughts we have about any of the guys on the Yankees?
I mean, Tanaka looked good, and
Yeah,
Ottavino is
yeah.
disgusting.
Ottavino, I mean, dude, he's the type of dude that like when he comes into pitch, you're just like, all right, if you had to go to the bathroom, if you were gonna like get up to like make some dinner, like you got to sit back on.
Like I'm not. Well, I was gonna say you could just get up and be like, I'm not gonna miss anything. These guys don't stand a chance. I'll come back. We'll be up again.
That's another way to look at it.
It legitimately looks like he's throwing a wiffle ball.
Dude, that bat, like, what was it? He had like that backdoor slider. I think it was in his first or second game.
Just struck out Chris Davis, I think, on opening day, right?
Yeah, which isn't much of an accomplishment, but nevertheless, that slider is a thing of beauty.
Do you want to talk about a positive note with a slightly, I guess, sad twist to it, like that Aaron Hicks, once he comes back from injury, will probably be batting leadoff, and Brett Gardner will be doing something else.
Yeah, I mean that's another. I'm glad you brought that up, G, because that's another thing that you kind of just have to put into perspective. Is look, man, this team is pretty banged up, and I mean, I'm not saying that hey, if Aaron Hicks was in the lineup, that they would have won. Like he probably would have been. When the Yankees are playing bad, I feel like Hicks is one of like the main culprits of guys that are just like swinging out of their shoes and not having at bats. But
surprisingly, I think it's the other way around. I think he's the one guy who actually hits well against crappy teams, but struggles against the good teams.
No, I'm not saying against like crap. I'm just saying like when the Yankees like as a team just aren't hitting well, I feel like he'll just always have like that one at bat that just makes your head hurt.
Oh yeah. Okay.
I mean, if you want to talk about like Gardner, one of the few things that he has left is that he can like working at bat, but Hicks does that just as well. So
yeah. I mean, obviously another guy that's probably not close to coming back, but DD too. I mean, just DD like I didn't think I'd miss Hicks and DD like this fast, right? Like I thought like I'm so stupid, man. Like I really did look at the schedule at the beginning of the year and say, wow, man, we got like 9 pretty easy games to open the year. Like we should start at least 6-3, 7-2, right?
Well,
and like I'm just like, oh wait a minute, it's the Yankees. They don't do good against bad teams. They should just start us off with like the Astros and like the Cubs and the Red Sox and the Dodgers next year. Like I would be very happy with that. We'd probably go like 15-1.
I don't know. I mean, it's only been 3 games, so they still have to work out a rotation. But like once Didi comes back, I'm just really interested to see what they do at the infield.
Well, if I mean, Bird doesn't look great. If he, starts to fall off, he's probably going to get sent back down to AAA, and then there's your opening.
Well, I mean, I guess.
Well, you'll have LeMahieu occupying first base more. Is what I'm saying.
Another thing I wanted to mention. I know he struck out to end the game today, but Tulo, first home run as a Yankee, nice little short porch shot, Oppo field, good.
And then dropped a pretty severe F-bomb when he struck. Did you guys see that?
I did not.
Yeah, when he struck at the end of the game, they panned the camera over him. He's just like emphatic.
Dude, like honestly, I didn't see that because the moment he struck out, I just closed my laptop. Like I think my laptop was closed within a second and a half of that game ending of Tulo striking out. Yeah, I was. It's so like I said this in Slack. The Yankees do have this about them where it's been like this, I think, the last few years. They always seem to come back. They always seem to fight back. Like I'm not saying they always seem to come back as in like win, but they always seem to put up a fight at the end. And I know as a fan, you might say like, "Oh, that's infuriating. They just give us blue balls." They just like, why can't you just lose big and just let us like stop watching the game? But it is a good thing to have as a team to be like resilient, because I can't tell you how many games. Like, I mean, the last 2 games, they pretty much played like shit all throughout the game, right? But then all of a sudden, in the 9th inning, it's like, hey, we have 4 base runners all of a sudden when we couldn't get 4 base runners over the last 7 innings. But now we have 4 base runners in the 9th. It's just they do it all the time, man. It's like Andrew, you said, like, hey, why can't you guys just play good and not need to come back? But it is a good quality to have.
Especially after Judge said the whole thing today, like we have to play with a sense of urgency. We have to play with like our backs up against the wall. It's like, well, your backs aren't only up against the wall when it's the ninth inning. You're down 3 runs. Like if you're losing 3-0 in the first inning,
they played like they just banged their heads against the wall. That's
the whole team has like a hero complex where they want to just have this big heroic moment instead of just doing
they're playing hero ball, all trying to hit home runs, all trying to just do it all in one swing. Like,
the Red Sox went out and just bludgeoned all these teams into the dirt last year, and the Yankees just didn't.
And here's the thing, I already saw on Twitter, all it took was 3 games. And you see people saying like, "Oh, I'm glad the Yankees got all these guys instead of signing Manny Machado." And Luigi, you touched on it earlier. Like, if the hitting coach is preaching, get the ball in the air, hit home runs, it's okay if you strike out. Like, do we think Manny Machado or Bryce Harper would have been any different? Like, any free agent we brought in here does the same thing. They conform to like the mantra of the team. Like, just because a guy does something somewhere else doesn't mean he's gonna be that same player. He's gonna be more along the lines of like a Voit or a Judge.
I mean, Bryce Harper hit a pretty monster home run yesterday, so.
You're missing the point. The point is, like, people are saying, like, what I saw on Twitter was, oh, we need people who make contact rather than people who only swing for the fences. So because Manny Machado hit 300 basically every year, like, he's going to come up with two men on, 1 out and hit a double rather than try and swing for the fences like everyone else. But you know what? Like, I don't think that's true. I think he would be swinging the fences just like everyone else in our lineup.
I agree. I'm about to debut a new segment, boys. It's called Reading Tweets from the Bronx Bomber Ball Mentions.
Yes.
This was after the second. This wasn't even after Sunday's game. This was after Saturday's game. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to read the ads, but I'll just read some of the tweets. Second game of the season, and I'm he said ready, but he meant really. And I'm ready done with Sanchez. I mean, like, I get Gary was bad, but okay. Okay, here we go. Bronx Bomber Ball tweets. DJ grounds out to end the 6th. Someone replies, "We didn't need Machado or Harper, though." This kid, same person also said, "Nah, don't worry. We re-signed Gardner for $10 million, who couldn't hit a slow pitch softball." Oh man, just okay. And then the Bronx Bomberball tweeted a GIF of Paxton with his 98-mile-per-hour fastball. Someone quoted it like in the 6th inning, right? This video is from the 1st inning. This person quotes this in the 6th inning, saying, "Who cares? Got in a jam in the 6th and couldn't get out."
like we have to specify like we're Yankee fans and we're gonna be irrational too, but like we're the Yankee fans. I think Luigi, you said like that hate other Yankee fans at times just because how irrational some of these people get.
Andujar's plate discipline equals non-existent. That's a good one.
All right, here we go. Here's a tweet. It says, Bronx Bomber Ball tweeted, "Not sure how long this whole Gardner leadoff thing is going to last." Some guy responds, "2 games. I have seen enough."
Like, some of these people do crack me up though. Like with some of their comments, like some of them are just so good, but most of them are just because I was tweeting the game yesterday, and today I was a lot more mad today than yesterday. Like Saturday's game, it was like, all right, yeah, we lost, we played a shitty game, but like whatever, right? But people were, even after the first loss, were just mad, or like saying they're done with Gary and all. Like it was just incredible, and obviously, the game today was even more brutal, so I knew people would be mad. But yeah, man, you see some funny things in the Bronx Bomberball mentions, man.
You see this one here, when Gary threw the ball down to second base, it ricocheted off the runner into left field. So we tweeted the little clip of it, that throw, with the caption, "This throwing error was painful to watch," and the first reply was, "Everything he does is painful to watch."
Yeah, man, people like Munson Twitter hates Gary so much, man. That's their least favorite player by far. It has to be him and Stanton.
Shout out Munson Twitter.
We'll never shut up Munson Twitter. Munson Twitter is the cancer of Twitter.
Man. Well, before we get to the preview in the series against Detroit, I hate talking about just we're a Yankees podcast. Like I don't like talking about the Red Sox, but it is worth noting the Red Sox dropped 3 of 4 to Seattle. Not a good opening weekend for them. I mean, really, I feel like you'd rather have the Red Sox problem because all 4 of their starters just got ripped. Like their offense was still there. Their bullpen's obviously not good, but when your 4 starters get ripped and you have a bad bullpen, it's just not going to work out for you. But yeah, Red Sox, I think they let up 34 runs this weekend. So not a great opening weekend for them.
And
All right, wait, here we go. Just to get everyone's blood boiling, Coley Harvey just dropped a direct quote from Aaron Boone post-game.
Oh no! This is okay. Oh my god!
Aaron Boone was asked why go with Stephen Tarpley in the 8th. The quote is, "Early in the season, we've got to be able to lean on some other guys in certain situations. When you start bringing in guys late, early, and you're when you start bringing in guys late, early, and you're chasing, you start putting yourself in a bind tomorrow and the next day. Bottom line is, we have a lot of confidence in a lot of layers in our bullpen, and those guys have to be able to get outs. Tonight, we got hurt by the long ball with Tarp, but those guys need to be able to get big outs in the medium and low leverage spots, especially early. So being down 1 run in the 8th inning is a low leverage spot. But dude, Boone is all over the place.
I mean, the one correct part of that is that, I mean, he has to be able to get those outs, but that's
right. But see what the guy can do. Let him this is what Joe Girardi always did, and you know what even Boone did with Holder last year. Bring in a guy in the lowest leverage possible situations, let him go 4 or 5 clean innings around, and then you kind of uptick his leverage a little bit, and then eventually you're throwing him into the fire. But you don't just be oh, this is a big moment here. Let's just see what you got. Oh shit, you blew up. Oh, we lost. Oh, oops. No.
Yeah, Boone literally has the Yankees have one of the best bullpens, basically the best bullpen in baseball, and Boone has their winning lineup and their losing lineup.
Yeah,
and even if it's 1 run deficit or a 10-run deficit, it doesn't matter because he'll bring in the Tarpleys and the Caneleys and the Sessas, even though Sessa was good today. He'll bring in all those guys that could be losing by 1 run, and then exactly what happened today. They extend the lead and it's over with.
Yep, that's the Aaron Boone way. There's nothing that makes me shudder more than hearing the phrase Boone quotes. Those, man. But yeah, let's never talk about that series again, huh, boys? Agreed.
All
right. Well, the Yankees continuing their their torrid start to 2019. They'll open a series against the Tigers starting tomorrow, Monday. They'll still be at the stadium, still be at home. The 3-game set. The game times are 6:30, 6:30, and 4 o'clock. The Yankees currently don't have a scheduled starter for Game 3, but on ESPN it has Paxton listed for Thursday, but I'm not sure about that.
Wait, who's listed for tomorrow? For Tuesday?
It's Monday. It's Herman. Tuesday it's Tanaka, and then Wednesday there's no one listed. But we'll see who gets that start. Who knows? It could be Aaron Boone at this point. Who knows? But yeah. So the Detroit Tigers, another team that they went. I think they split with the Blue Jays 4-game series, went 2-2. But look, this is another team that just doesn't have a whole lot of talent. It's a team that the Yankees should easily be able to take 2 out of 3 from. The Yankees aren't going to be facing the best pitchers this series. Man, I'm still just so nervous. Like Andrew, you said you were going to go to the game tomorrow, but now you're not going. Don't blame you at all. One, it's going to be cold, very cold. I think it's going to be in the 30s.
Yeah, and the 6:30 start time is all sorts of whack.
Brutal for getting out of work. But yeah, guys, obviously we're not feeling good. I shouldn't even ask that. But do you guys think the Yankees are going to bounce back? They face Tyson Ross Monday. I think Jordan Zimmerman. Yeah, Jordan Zimmerman Tuesday.
Oh,
And
pitched a perfect game to the seventh inning on opening day, so that's good.
yep, very good. And then they'll face lefty Matthew Boyd on Wednesday. So
I mean, look, if they can't beat Tyson Ross, like, I don't know. Not that I want to be all doom and gloom, but I mean, come on now.
Yeah, but do they even have good numbers against Tyson Ross? Like, I know Matthew Boyd, a couple guys took him deep last year, but like, do many Yankees even have good numbers against him?
DJ LeMahieu's 7 of 21 again career against him. Tulowitzki's 5 of 16. That's no one else really has like much of a track record against him. Gardner's 1 for 4.
Just DJ and Troy because he was mostly with the Padres, right? So the NL guys.
Yeah. And then we have a lot of experience against Stanton. Has not done well against Zimmerman. 7 of 34 career. Gardner 3 of 15 career against Zimmerman. LeMahieu. Oh wow, LeMahieu's 7 of 18 career versus Zimmerman. That's pretty good.
Ooh.
When Zimmerman was with the Nationals and was much better than he was since coming to the AL, but that's just me.
Oh, I mean, agreed. But I mean, the guy was. I mean, like Andrew just said, the guy was just lights out for his opening day start. So,
Still got it in him.
Yeah, dude's a good veteran pitcher. What were his numbers last year, Zimmerman? You didn't. Yeah,
not good.
Yeah,
not good.
I mean, he had 3 bad years, but 4.87, 6.08, and 4.52 has been his ERAs the last 3 seasons.
And he was like 15 games last year, or something like that.
He would not. He was his last 3 records: 7-8 in 2018, 8-13 in 17, and then 9-7 in 16.
And he paid $25 million this year, next year.
Whew, he's swimming in it, man. Jeez.
Yeah, what a finesse job that was.
You can't even hate it, though, man.
You gotta respect it.
You have to. Man, so it looks like DJ. I mean, look, DJ LeMahieu. I mean, that I think if we had to give an MVP to the Yankees for the first weekend, I think it'd have to be DJ LeMahieu. Between him at the plate, him in the field. I mean, he, like Andrew, you said it. He was silky smooth in the field, man. I mean, he looks really good.
He did make that error yesterday, which I mean, we can blame Bird.
Yeah,
but
I was about to say. I mean, look, that's one that it will go down as an error for LeMahieu, but that's just a classic Greg Bird play he should have made. Well, guys, we have anything else that we want to talk about the Tigers more? We have anything else to talk about this?
Well, here's what concerns me. The Tigers played 4 games in Toronto to start the season, and they scored a combined 6 runs in 4 games. So the expectations are that they can't hit, and of course they're going to put up like an 8 spot on this one.
At the end of one, it is 18-0 Detroit Tigers.
The fact that they won 2 games doing that is damn impressive, actually.
Well, they got shut out twice, and then they won 2-0 on opening day in extras, by the way. So they didn't score the first 9 innings. They scored, I think, one of their young prospects at a 2-run home run in that game. And then they won today 4-3. So not a lot of offense going on.
Yeah, the Tigers. I mean, just look at this. Okay, I'm going to just look at look at their depth chart, man. I mean, they have nobody. The only guys that the average baseball fan would know here is like Miguel Cabrera and Josh Harrison
and Nick Castellanos.
And Nick Castellanos. I'll give you that. But that's it. I mean,
Castellanos is pretty good.
I mean, yes, but this is just a bad lineup.
The Tigers had Nico Goodrum hitting cleanup for them today. So that's where they're at.
The first 4 games, the Tigers against the Blue Jays went 21 of 135. Good for a 156 batting average.
Ugh.
Let's see, 50 strikeouts and 135 at bats. Man,
I would say the Yankees could get away with bullpenning one of these games, but Boone would probably start with like Tarpley and Sessa and Kinley and all the worst ones.
All right.
Doing good.
Okay, so Josh Harrison and Miguel Cabrera had a combined 26 at bats. Guess how many hits they had?
The whole series?
Yeah.
Cabrera has but I think only one hit, right?
How many they both have combined?
3, maybe?
Yep, you got it. 3 hits. Harrison's 1 for 11. Cabrera's 2 for 15.
Ugh.
Gross.
And that's yeah. So I mean, look, hey, Yankees pitching staff. Here you guys go. I mean, geez, I think the Orioles may have a better lineup than that. I honestly think that it's not that much difference. Who knows? What if the Orioles are just the Rays? Remember how bad we thought the Rays were going to be last year when they won 90 games? What if the Orioles are like that this year?
Yeah, it was an interesting quote from
AL champs, right?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, that's what Susan Wellman said on the radio. She's like, you got to beat bad teams before they know they're bad teams. And I thought to myself, like,
that's true.
What if they end up not being a bad team?
I said on this pod last season, the beginning of the year, I watched that Rays team the first week of the season. And I was like, wow, the Rays, they're not even going to win 50 games. I was convinced of it. And, as the season went on, they scratched together wins and they ended up winning 90 games. And they look pretty good to start the year this year. But, yeah, just the Yankees, Tigers, next series, man.
I'm worried that it's just going to be an absolutely hard series.
I mean, look, if you're not worried as a Yankee fan right now, I'm not talking about worried in the long term. I'm just talking about in a short term perspective. If you're not worried about how that team looks tomorrow night, you obviously haven't watched this team over the last few years. It really is scary. It's just one of those things where you're like, oh man, please, for me, right now, the main goal for Monday's game should be just look, don't fall behind. Please, just don't put, because look, they were in a 3-0 hole today before they even got to the plate. As an offense, especially when you're just not getting guys home, that's just so just demoralizing when you're just already down 3-0 before you even step to the plate. So,
well, I think here's the thing.
They got to get off to a good start.
Yeah, I mean, win or lose, the most important thing is that they don't repeat the same crap they pulled the past 2 days. I mean, if you lose tomorrow, you're sitting at 1-3. I mean, whatever. That sucks, but I mean, whatever. But if they play like they did today and yesterday again tomorrow, then it's then we got a problem. And we're seeing the same mistakes, and that's bad.
Let's just say let's say we win Monday and then Tuesday, right? Let's say Zimmerman throws another gem. You live with that. It's yeah, man, he was on. He was hitting every corner. He
I almost wish Dylan Bundy would just lit us up today. That'd be more palatable than the kind of loss we had.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's Dylan Bundy, so.
Right, but if he went out and threw 7 innings, 1 run, and he was just on, you'd be like, all right, well, this offense kind of needs to wake up. But we didn't leave 12 guys on base and go 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Or 14 guys on base, right? Oh, I didn't even include the 9th inning.
Annoying too. It's you were doing everything right except getting runs in. Because I think Bundy had 92 pitches through 3 1/3, 3 2/3. So it's we're working the count. We're getting I always love how when you get a starter out of the game, because no matter how good a team's bullpen is, you have to go into their bullpen in the 4th.
Dude, they walked the bases loaded yesterday in the 1st inning. That's as perfect of a start as you can get, and they did nothing with it.
Well, it's because it goes back to what we were talking about before. They just try and destroy the ball instead of just getting a hit.
Yep. Man, well, if it makes us feel any better, Saturday we get that rematch in Baltimore, Happ versus Bundy.
Yeah, Aaron Judge, they're all licking their chops. Aaron Judge, play with your back against the wall mentality. Game 3 against the Orioles. They're licking their chops to get down there and right the wrong that happened this weekend.
Man, yeah. Any final thoughts before I close my laptop and never open it again?
I just want baseball to be fun.
Well,
and if I have to watch them play like they did last year, the second half of last year, when it was just so difficult to watch, and I can't watch any more of that. I obviously want them to hit home runs and do fun things, but just beat shitty teams. It seems like such a sad thing to have to ask for.
You guys remember how fun the Yankees were in 2017? Even when they started struggling in the second half, they would just have a carefree energy. They weren't
right.
grizzled vets. They didn't have the expectations. if they lost, whatever. But you'd get some surprise starting performances, and you'd have a lineup that was ready to mash and driving runs every game. Like those games were fun. Last year more felt like business that we kind of fell short on. And again, the first three games this year kind of feels like buttoned up. Well, this is like the 2003, 2004 era Yankees where it's like, well, they've tasted success now, so now they just have to go out and live up to the expectations of a championship, and they're not ready.
Oh man, yeah. So not an ideal start to the 2019 season, but hey, we got 159 to go. We'll be here throughout it. There's no, that's the thing about baseball. There's no rest. They're back at it tomorrow. Their next off day is not until Friday. Yeah, they have that off day Friday because it's Baltimore's home opener, so they need that rain out day. So yeah, that'll be it for this episode. We'll probably record again Wednesday, maybe after the Tiger series. Hopefully, we'll be talking about a series win. That would be nice, right? But for Matt, for Andrew, for G, this was the Bronx Bar About podcast. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.